Hello everyone, here this afternoon in Perry, Ohio, just a little east of Cleveland, Ohio, here doing my presentation of my NDE for the completion of my administrative license at Fort Hays State University. I'll start off with my goals. The goals I have, I know they're hard to see right here. I got covered up somehow. The video wouldn't embed in the first box, but the big thing is once I get my license and pass the praxis test, it really is to seek out a job, probably as an assistant principal, do that for some time, or possibly to find an athletic director position. This would be something that would have to be close to home. I live in Cleveland Heights, so I travel about 45 minutes each day, and with 4 kids, it's very difficult. They're on the west side of Cleveland with my wife, who also is a teacher, so it's kind of learning how to do logistics better for me to be closer to home, whether as an assistant principal or athletic director. Professionally, I'd like to be a superintendent possibly one day, and also an author. Personal goals, I'd like to finish a marathon this year, my first one. I did a half last year. Again, publish a book I'm working on, Molding Minds. Continue to coach my children in baseball and other sports. Continue to run marathons and ultra marathons, and travel the country, and also hopefully go to Europe with my wife one day. Would be a lifelong dream for myself. My leadership philosophy, always trust in the Lord in everything I do. I think having faith in God is very important. I know I can't preach that in a public setting, but I think by my actions, showing kids that I'm committed to them, that I have a positive attitude, that I love and respect them, and that I also will give effort on a daily basis in my job is definitely commendable, that I hope for them, and that they're valued each day of their lives that they're here at the school as a teacher or as a principal. My program of study, I started in 2018. Start off with, I think it was supervision evaluation back in the summer of 2018, and I just completed all my coursework this fall of 2019. And I did not do the practicum. My state did not need it, so all the other courses I did take. My resume is updated. My objective is to seek a position as an assistant principal in a school district and help administer, guide, and follow board policies and procedures, as well as uphold the district mission statement, which I learned about during this coursework at Fort Hays State University, and develop strong and lasting relationships through consistent actions, which I spoke about earlier as one of my philosophies, with integrity for all stakeholders, which I learned that was a big word that came about a lot as well for my graduate work. So kind of my background, I got my master's degree from Notre Dame College in 2009, undergraduate at John Carroll University in 2004. I've been at Perry High School since 2012, and previous I worked at a career center, Auburn Career Center, from 2005 until 2012. Had been the head baseball coach for 8 years. I'm currently the head golf coach. Been on leadership teams for my union and my old school. Been on negotiations, and I'm currently the teacher leader right now for our special ed department. For the annotated bibliography, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's very, very lengthy, but there were a lot of good questions. I think the reason why your Fort Hays State University, the leadership decided for us to do this was to actually more of a reflection and research on how really we see ourselves as leaders, and making those connections to all the key stakeholders and staff members, and what it means to be a leader for all, not just your school students or just your staff, but more as a holistic approach to leadership. And I found that the more that I went through the classes and through research, you're never going to be perfect. That's one thing, just like teaching. But the more you know and the more you learn from others, the better the opportunity that I will have, I feel, to make better decisions using a team that I trust, and building those relationships to build that trust, to move the district that I'm working in the right direction. So the reflection for me wasn't as lengthy, only because I did not do my practicum. Even though I did not do my practicum, I did serve as a substitute for the assistant principal when he had surgery for a couple of weeks last year, and it was a great experience. In this reflection, I put that the principal and I had it's not funny. It's actually it's quite humorous, but not. We had the most suspensions in 5 days ever recorded at the school. My first day started off with a kid who was bullying another female, and then while his parent was in, we were talking with him in the principal's office. Two other kids went into my office, the assistant principal's office, and stole vapes out of his drawer, and then we had to catch them on camera, find out who they were, and we busted them right before school let out, and they had it on them. So, needless to say, my first day on the job was quite intense. Learn on the spot with guidance from my principal, and it was definitely a positive for everyone, obviously including myself. And I did have a board member come up to me after my substitution experience, and said that it was really nice to see that you were visible. Her daughter said this because she wasn't there, obviously, but her daughter said that I was always in the halls, in the cafeteria, making my rounds, talking to teachers, just being present. And that's the biggest thing I learned is don't be locked in your office. Go out, experience life in the trenches with the teachers, support both teachers and staff. And with that mentality, I feel like I'm going to do well. So, overall, I know a little further, or my secondary, I'm sorry, right here, artifacts that I had, activities. And these activities, again, I'm not going to go through the whole slideshow, but I've learned a lot while I've been at Perry High School, and I think our leadership team does a great job. They bring in, I'll kind of go over this a little bit, but our leadership team from superintendent down really values leadership and relationships, and they actually have brought in Tim Kite. He actually worked with he does still, I believe, works with the Ohio State Buckeyes for leadership, and his son, Brian, they have come in, worked with us on just different strategies. Excuse me. So we worked on just small group activities, and also we have PLCs, professional learning communities, that take place once a week for math that I'm associated with, and then we have our meetings twice or once every other week for special ed, and then for our district for special ed we meet twice per semester, so once per quarter. So it really is just communicating, being effective, and learning from each other. And we use a lot of technology. Everyone has a Chromebook at our school, Blackboard and Google heavy. So it's a good integration of all these different tools to make our students and staff successful. So if you look through this, you'll see the artifacts that I have included. It was a great time, and I really did appreciate that the time that I had at Fort Hays State University, from Dr. Moody to all the other professors I had, I definitely, and I mean this sincerely, I definitely learned a lot more than I did in my graduate courses. And I think the reason why is because I think everything was authentic and applicable. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.